All right, hey everybody. I have been working on this long-term projection spreadsheet and I thought I would share it with you today. So the first thing you do is you click on Use Template. The actual URL for this will be down in the description so you can see this. But when you click on Use Template, it's going to go ahead and create a copy of this in your own Google Spreadsheets. And it will pop, of course, with many different things. And so the general idea is to try and answer this question, will you have enough money to live until you're 25 or 95, excuse me. And so you can see that what I've done is I've basically put together a whole bunch of calculations. I've made some things which you can change and some things that you won't. And so let's go ahead and put some numbers in here. So we're going to go ahead and say that you're 30, you have a net worth of, say, $20,000. Maybe it's higher, maybe it's lower. Your annual addition that you're going to put to that is going to be $25,000 with increase of $1,000 a year. That's not too bad. You're going to stop doing additions at 68. You're going to start doing withdrawals at 69. Your requirement when you start doing withdrawals is going to be $100,000 a year in 2023 dollars. Now, importantly, because $100,000 in 2023 is not the same as what it's going to be worth when you're ready to retire, this spreadsheet actually calculates the future value. And then, of course, there's an inflation calculation and some estimate about what you might get from Social Security. Who knows if that's going to work out or not. So then you can go down here. You can see it's calculated everything, right? So we have your age, your current net worth, how much you're earning based on your average annual rate of return, what you're doing additions-wise, subtotals. And then, of course, over here, we start to have some withdrawals, right? But you're not doing withdrawals yet because you're 30. So we keep going, and you see things are going along pretty merrily. And then you hit 68, okay? And so by 68, through the power of compound interest and additions and investments and blah, 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 you end up with a net worth of someplace in the $4.5 million range right here. And so then you start taking money out. And of course, here we have money coming out, and this is in future dollars. This is designed to be $100,000 2023 dollars in 2062, which is $216,000. And then you start to see that it gives you this, how much money you have left over, right? So now let's go down and let's see if you're going to have enough money to live until you're 95. The good news is it looks like you will. In 2088, you'll be 95, and hopefully you'll live that long. But now what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, let's adjust some of these numbers. So what happens if inflation doubles to 4% on average? Well, there you see, at this rate of savings, with these expenses, you're not going to have enough money. But then, here, let's take this average annual rate of return, so 10% as a historical average for the S&P 500. Let's go ahead and put that at 8%. Well, if that's up towards historical averages, you're pretty good, even if the average cost of living is relatively high. Now let's go in and let's say that instead of $100,000, you want to have $200,000. Well, that still messes with your thing. So let's go through and say, does better performance fix that? Change that to 10%. Of course, better performance fixes that. So can't always count on better performance though. So we'll go ahead and leave that at 8. We'll go ahead and try and leave this down at 2 and see what happens. And then instead of $200,000, we're going to say $250,000. Because really, you have no idea at 30 what your requirements are going to be when you're 68. That's just the way it goes. But at these numbers, it actually looks pretty good. Now, if your average annual rate of return goes to something like 6%, of course, then that's pretty low too. 7%? 7% is about the minimum given these numbers where you're going to break even. So that is the long-term projection spreadsheet. It's free. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the description, and I would love to hear your thoughts. So leave me a comment. Thanks.